All right, let's talk about the good first. This position here that we've got to get to on every pitch, every time, that is gorgeous. It's nearly perfect. These are 3 different swings that you're taking here, and I mean, you're in a perfect position. Barrel stacked, back leg is driven. I mean, that's really nice.
Almost identical.
Yeah, it's really good. So, you know, and Collin's got the barrel. What you want to see is this barrel on top of hands, on top of elbow, you know, and that's really nice. Front leg is square, really good. Barrel stacked, really good position there. Lead arm is stretched. Okay, staying with kind of the good stuff. You know, we've got our nice kind of, you know, our C here. Okay, head is, you know, body is back, so we're off the back side. Hold on, okay, let me turn that. Off the back side, behind the front side. And we've got, you know, now he's beating you over the top with a pronation. So that's something, you know, we want to have more hands going through here. Okay? See how he's over the top and you're still kind of hanging on to it. Some of that is simply, you know, his size and his strength allows him to get through the ball, you know, easier. But we still want to try to catch up to him with that. Okay? All right, so if we break it down, let's go ahead and break it down systematically. Caitlin, all right, man. If we break it down systematically, let's go back leg first, and let's see what we're doing there, okay? I think, Collin, with the back leg, you know, you kind of start it. I wouldn't mind seeing you start back a little bit more, and everybody's a little different with their style, and that's fine, but you're almost 50-50 with your start, and then when you load, we really kind of raise up, okay? And I think we've talked about this before in the past. You see how much your head goes up? So let's kind of go from where you start your head. All right. Okay. And so the head kind of goes up and back. And then it drops down. So, you know, in terms of starting, the other thing we see is that back knee kind of kicks out just a little bit. Okay. I would try not to get so tall. And so what's making us tall is, you know, really the knee joint. You know, you start bending. Once that knee straightens, obviously the body's going to go with it. So I would try to minimize. You got to perfect. The back leg's very simple. It's got to get ready and go. And you need to be perfect as to how you're going to load and unload that back leg. And I think that you've got some unnecessary, you know, raising and elevation of the head. We're trying to load from the top of this leg, top of the femur, and that's more than we need. And I don't know if we start back more, but we've got to come up with a plan to clean that up a little bit. So all that leg has to do is get ready and then go. And by go, I mean it's got to unload sideways. Okay? I'd like to see a little more happening, you know, before that foot gets down. It's kind of, you know, so we load. And I feel like the front side is coming down a little too soon. If you look at Adrian here, you can see the back leg going a little sooner. So what am I saying? I want to feel like that this leg is loading and unloading before that one gets down. It's almost like we're down and then going. So you want to be very active with the back leg and maybe calm this front one down a little bit. So it's load and unload. Okay? So long story short, we've got to get perfect with how this back leg is going to function. And it's pretty darn good right now. I mean, you're unloading before the heel drops, and we are unloaded before contact. And that the way that leg is moving is perfect. In other words, from here, from about right here through there is absolute perfection. Okay? Beautiful. Okay? But the way that we're loading it and when we're unloading it, we need to smooth out the load, cut some of the fat out of it, and then we need to unload a little sooner. It's a little late, really. Okay? So that's back leg, and that's all there is to the back leg. There's only really 3 parts to the whole thing: back leg, front side, back arm. So let's go to the front side. That front leg landing could not be better. It is absolutely perfect. The knee is bent and firm behind the front foot. Your front foot's better than his. You know, it really is. And the front knee is perfect. It's not flying open. There is no better front leg I've ever seen. Okay? It's It's absolutely perfect, okay? You want to feel like this back leg is driving into that front side, okay? Driving into that wall. And so I think it needs to happen a little bit sooner from the back leg, but the front knee in its position is absolutely perfect. So if we continue kind of with this front side thing, we want to feel like the upper body stays tilted, you know, and less turned. And, you know, I'm seeing chest on the ball here. These are really, really good. You know, I'm not seeing that lead arm get away like we were seeing on some of the pictures your dad sent. But I've got some drills to kind of work on that to prevent it from happening. All right, kind of continue with the front side. When I'm saying front side, I basically take the whole body and I just cut you in half here. So the front side includes everything from toe to, you know, toe through your eyes, okay? And this is another thing that we fought in the past, you know, that I remember looking at, is you have a lot of kind of sideways, you know, tilting of the head. You see how violent that is? Okay? So, you know, we need to try to calm that down, because you're still getting information out here from the ball, and you're getting, it's kind of like taking a camera and moving your camera and trying to get a clear picture. Okay? You can see how much more quiet his head is. So if you compare that to that, you can see how, you know, he's not nearly as, you know, your head's almost perpendicular to the ground. Your eyes are, and his are much more parallel to the ground. Okay? So we need to calm the head down a little bit. Okay, last thing is the back arm. Again, you're a right-handed thrower, and so we've had to work to make sure that left arm. Now, in the past, we've done some left-handed throwing. You ever do any of that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I would stay with that, because the more you can educate this arm and educate that back leg on how to push, you know, I would stay. I know you feel goofy, and we've talked about that in the past, but I would get out in the yard and throw left-handed, okay, because it educates, because that back arm is basically doing a sidearm throw, and the more you can get out and throw, the better. However, you know, a guy like Bryce Harper is the same way, and and we want a lot of activity, okay, up here in the left rotator cuff, and you're really active there. Okay, and that's really good, and your elbow drops in nicely right there. And so, like I said, this stack position is phenomenal. It's outstanding. Okay, I mean, you can't really get better than that. Okay, let's see if there's a little too much. You know, if I'm going to nitpick it in terms of how we're getting there, I think we got a little too much scap to where the elbow's kind of going. We want it to be more here and less here. So we'll work on that a little bit to get some of that out. But man, the elbow drops in there nice, and that is a really nice position. Okay. Now the only thing that I kind of see, and this is kind of I think what your dad is seeing at this point, you know, that lead arm starts to maybe do a little too much, and we start to, and this is what he's seeing in the games, is we get here, well, lefty, okay, we get here, and that lead arm starts to kind of pull across. That lead arm should brace up, and then the hands turn over, okay? So wherever location is, this arm stops away, stops middle. Now in, it's going to travel farther, but it's going to brace up. You don't want to feel like you're pulling that bat across your body, okay? And I think that's, although I'm not seeing it, you know, nearly as much here, I'm seeing a little bit of it, to where the hands, that lead arm starts to pull us away just a little bit. Let's see. One way you can see it, okay, as he starts to pronate at this point, you know, and you're not bad there, you're fairly well behind it. Let's see. I'll back it up a frame. You know, one way to look at it is, see how his hands are still almost behind his knee here, and your hands are a little farther out front, so he's got a little bit better bracing. In other words, that lead arm is bracing up a little better. It's bracing up a little bit deeper in the process. But we've got some good drills for working on that. Okay? So in summary, back leg, we got to figure out what we're doing with our back leg. We got to quit hopping up so much, and the back leg's got to go sooner. Front leg is absolutely perfect. You know, with the upper body, we can always work on less turn. Okay? The back arm, let's make sure we're starting correctly, not with too much shoulder turn or scap pinch. And slot position is perfect. And let's make sure we feel this lead arm brace up and the hands really finish. Okay?